Alright, now we go on to what we call the inverse proportion, which is actually the real opposite of direct proportion. Okay, so you can refer this example from work example 12, page 182 from your textbook 2A, right? So here we go. The intensity of illumination, I lux. Lux is what we call the units, right? So don't worry about that. From a dash lamp on the book is inversely proportional to the square of the distance d centimeter. So centimeter is another unit, so don't worry so much. Okay, of the book from the lamp. When the book is 40 centimeter from the lamp, the intensity of illumination is 360 lux. Find the intensity of illumination when the book is 30 centimeter from the lamp. Okay, so now we have it. Okay, so what does it say? I lux. So I mean, just take the I. I is the variable that we want. I. So as we all know, whatever that is being mentioned first will always be on the left. So I is inversely proportion. So equals to K. So that's where we have it. Equals to K. Inversely proportion to the square of the distance D. So square of the distance D. So D square. Okay. But this is when it is what we call direct proportion. Okay, so this is just the revision, okay, from the previous one. Okay, this is when it's asking for direct proportion, but in this case it's actually asking for inverse proportion. So when it's inverse, okay, it's the real opposite of direct proportion. Okay, instead of it joining on with the K, okay, it's actually joining with the K, but okay, inverse, or what we call the downside of the K. Sorry, not X, but D square. There we go. Okay, sorry. Yes, so this is what we call inverse proportion. Okay, the K is still equals to K, but the D, whatever that has been mentioned later on, instead of it joining with the K, is actually the downside of the K. That's what we call inverse proportion. Okay, but the others, okay, the technique remains the same. Usually there will be some numbers, okay, that we mentioned. In this case, when the book is 40, so the 40 centimeter from the lamp. So in this case, the D is the 40. So let's write down the D. K equals over 40 square. The intensity of the illumination is 360 lux. So 360 as the I. So you see, okay, it's still the same. Okay, we have to substitute the numbers given into their respective variables. In this case, I 360. Okay, and the D as the 40. Okay, so using the cross multiplication that you have learned in set 1. So 360 is equals to K over 1600. Right? So based on the, okay, remember, let's revise. Okay, when do we have cross multiply? Cross multiply is when we have an equal and a fraction. So that's when we have cross multiply. So cross multiply, okay, happens in this case. Okay, so you have your answer, okay, by doing cross multiply. 1600, okay, times with the 360. So K is equals to 360 times 1600. Okay, the answer will be 576,000. So remember, K is what we call the constant. So constant will never change. Even when the d has changed or the I has changed, the k, the constant, will forever be 576,000. Okay, so but we are not yet done, okay, because we have the next part, which is find the intensity of the illumination when the book is 30 centimeter from the lamp. Okay, so when it's 30 centimeter from the lamp, okay, so means there is the d, right? So let's put it in. So I is equals to k. So in this case, k will forever be the same, 576,000. All right, 30 centimeter. So 30 centimeter is the d. So 30. But don't forget, it comes with the square. Okay, that's part of the formula there. Okay, because they say square of the distance, right? So don't forget the square. Okay, so I is equals to 576,000 over 900. Okay, there you have it. I is actually 640. Yeah. Okay, so that's inverse proportion, guys. Okay, so it's actually almost the same as direct proportion, but in this case, okay, instead of the d together with the k, okay, that's actually now the inverse proportion, okay, which is actually the downside of the k, the opposite side of the k, okay, over a k over d squared. Alright, so inverse proportion, okay, is just what we call the lopsided, okay, the underside, okay, of the k. Okay, I hope this video, okay, helps in that manner. Thank you.